the ESPN thing.
Oh, there you go. If you guys just watched us and we are back, that is true because as soon as we literally hit end stream there, we got some breaking news from our friend Jet Passon and Robert Murray that the left-hander Garrett Crochet and the Boston Red Sox are in agreement on a 6-year, $170 million contract extension. The deal starts in 2026, so next year, includes an opt-out after 2030. There are some escalators in the deal that can take it up to $180 million. But this was something that we kind of expected. Crochet had always talked about if he got traded at the deadline last year, he wanted an extension. In the offseason, he kind of wanted an extension. We were kind of wary because it didn't happen before opening day. But here, right before he takes the mound for a second time, he gets a big extension. So, Matt, what are your initial kind of thoughts and finding this out about 10 minutes ago as of recording this?
My initial thought on this is that this is a very high risk, high reward thing. Garrett Crochet, I believe he has 2 years left of control before the extension. So yeah, he would have been a free agent in 2027. So he's under control through next year so it's going to buy out a pretty good amount of free agency for him.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a high risk, high reward thing because, obviously we've talked about a lot, the innings issue with him, the fact that he's been injured a lot in his career, kind of the profile of pitcher that he is kind of tends to be a injury prone. You think of the big lefty with the wipeout slider that throws 100, like you think about the Chris Sale type, they typically, they don't stay fully healthy for long periods of time. And I hope that Crochet is the alien that does. And he might be. He might be healthy for a long time. This could work out very well for the Red Sox. But I do think it's a risky one. I mean, right now, Crochet is, in my opinion, one of the best pitchers in the game. I don't know that there's too many people that would argue with that. His stuff is incredible. Last year he was phenomenal for the White Sox. But there's a lot of risk to this deal. It's a lot of money, and especially the fact that with the opt out in there, like if he's great, that takes out some of the payoff of signing him to this deal. Because if he's great, he's just going to leave, and it's basically just 2 years of if he gets hurt, you still have to pay him. So that kind of hurts too. But yeah, I mean, good for the Red Sox spending money. I know that's been an issue for them over the last decade. Has been actually extending guys, spending money. You're welcome, Damien, for that. Mookie Betts, but right. Yeah, so definitely good on the Red Sox for spending money, taking that risk, and we'll see how it pays out.
I love Garrett Crochet. I think this is a awesome deal for him, right? Generational wealth type of deal here. 3 free agent years, right? 28, 29, 30, and he has the opt out after 30. So then there's 3 more years after that, I believe, is the way this deal is structured effectively, because it takes place after 2026. So that means the first 4 years of this deal are locked in with the Red Sox
next year.
Okay.
Starts so he would have, it starts for the 2026
next year
season.
Be the first year of it.
Last year would have been his last year before free agency. So it buys out his last year of arbitration, basically.
Yep. Last year
and 5 free agent years.
Mm-hmm. I think 4 technically because he has the opt out, and then the other 2 he's got 2 years of control.
I'm saying if the deal went through full thing without the opt out, it would have been 5 free agent years.
This is what you get with breaking news on the Batflip podcast. Is we're still parsing out the deals, the details of this deal, but I think it's a little bit curiously structured, and it's really high AAV for, like Matt mentioned, a guy that, I like Garrett Crochet, right? I fully believe that he is the alien, the guy that can make all your dreams come true when you're looking for the best lefty, starting pitcher in the game. But you had him for another year, right? It's maybe you wanted to see what he had more than one start, but at the end of the day, I can't fault the Red Sox for spending on their player. Keeping a guy in your uniform for longer is always going to be a good thing. Even if this doesn't work out, the fact that they went out and traded for this guy and extended him tells me they believe in him. Craig Breslow has been a pitching wizard for a long time. He's been a a player, as you know, he's been a GM. He's worked in the Cubs front office. He's bounced around. He's now the GM of the Red Sox. I think he's done a good job of acquiring pitchers and extending guys. I think he was there for the Bayo extension. He signed Walker Buehler, Giolito, which hasn't worked out obviously because of the elbow injury and stuff. But they've gone out of their way to target pitchers that they like. And we liked their rotation a lot going into this season. During our team preview, we really liked the rotation. This doesn't change anything for me other than they believe a lot in Garrett Crochet, because you have to believe in a guy an awful lot to give him this much money when you have another year of control and another window of time to wait and see if he maybe breaks down where you don't have to pay this money.
Yeah, I mean, it is curious, but at the same time, they make him the 7th paid or highest paid starting pitcher out there right now, just behind Blake Snell at $28.4 million. If you wait another year, you risk facing him going to free agency first off, and then having to pay or get into a bidding war and pay market value for that. Where if you just figure that this is going to be market value, or you think it's going to go higher, why not just get the deal done now? Because his stuff is really good. He is still relatively young. He doesn't have a lot of miles on the arm. That's right. One thing where, like, even if he were to go to free agency after next year, he doesn't have 1,000 innings on his arm or anything. Like, he's still relatively young armed, right? Because they used him as a reliever for a while. He has missed some time with some shoulder and elbow stuff, but I think given what he did last year, and he showed that he could be a starting pitcher. Obviously, the White Sox limited it down the stretch, but it's just what you're going to do when you have a valuable asset that you can get a ton for. So I don't think it's really out of line for what he would have got on the open market. I think there was a chance he even got more on when you hit that market in 2 years. The way that salaries and everything are just continuing to skyrocket throughout. So I don't think this is a bad deal at all. And then the Red Sox, we've argued for a long time that teams should just pay their good players, right?
Right.
And we argued it. The Red Sox have been notorious for not doing that very much with trading Mookie Betts away. We wanted them to be aggressive this year. They got Crochet in trade. They signed Bregman, like we said. They obviously have now signed Crochet. There's even been some talks that they're deep in extension talks with Christian Campbell. That could result in a big deal as well. So I love this move. I really do. I think Crochet, Matt picked him for a Cy Young. He was very much someone who I considered right there with Tarek Skubal as one of the best pitchers in the American League. Like, he is all what you want in an ace. He's everything you want in an ace. He strikes people out a lot. He can go deep into games. I think this is a great deal for both sides. It gives Crochet the security long term, and it gives the Red Sox a top of the rotation starter that they've been severely missing for I don't even know how many years now. So,
trying to think. I mean, John Lester.
Yeah, I mean,
John
Lester,
Lackey.
the last one.
Yeah, like that. It's that era, I believe. Yeah. No, Chris Sale. There you go.
Well,
it's Chris Sale.
How did we forget about the other Sox trade?
Right. That's right. Yes. I went too far back. Yeah. There was a whole period there where Chris Sale was dominant with the Red Sox. But yeah, it's they won a World Series and everything. That's where I was trying to go. It's like, when was the last World Series the Red Sox were in? It was 18. Chris Sale. But
too soon.
Still, this is a spot where Garrett Crochet is taking over the helm of the next great Red Sox pitcher, and the Red Sox have a very long and storied history of elite pitching. Pedro Martinez comes to mind. Lester, obviously, they've been churning them out for years. So again, organizationally, this makes sense. For a group that prioritizes their pitching, and especially because they traded really young, good prospects. I loved Braden Montgomery. Kyle Teal hit, I think, 2 or 3 home runs already in minor league action. So he's going absolutely nuts for the White Sox right now. Like, they gave up a pretty sizable package of prospects. They still managed to do it without touching their top guys, which still blows my mind. I still can't believe they were able to do that without doing Anthony or Campbell or Meyer, just one of those guys getting involved. That felt like the way you get that trade done, but they managed to get there without it, and they're going to reap the benefits of everything right now. That's why we've been so high on the Red Sox the whole time. Adam gets mad at us, but That's why I've been high on the Red Sox. They have the best of all the worlds. They have veterans. They have young guys. They have experience. They have youth. Everything can come together nicely in a team like that. That's what is drawing us to them for sure.
Yeah. And one little final note before we wrap it up and head out of here. This is a note per John Heyman here. The largest contract ever signed by a pitcher with 4+ years of service time that was not a free agent, obviously, was Jacob deGrom at $137.5 million with 110 of the current day, because there were some deferrals in there, and Crochet gets 170 present day value.
A lot.
So that's what, an extra 30-ish million over what deGrom got whenever he signed his, which is part of the pitching value today is a lot higher than it was at that point. But still, it's a significant investment from the Red Sox. So thank you for that. That's what I was looking for. And it's something that it could reap the rewards of it, or they could face penalties from it. Basically, if Crochet does break down, like some people do think that he could. So, but anyways, we already did one episode today, and now this one happened. So hopefully no more breaking news happens right after this, because I think Matt and I both want to go eat
yes,
some dinner.
I am very hungry.
Yeah, I eat before the episode,
and then we can watch some West Coast baseball here. But thank you guys for tuning into this little breaking news episode of the Baffle Podcast, and hopefully we'll catch you guys back here soon.